let's go for the big New Year's Day show of the return of Sherlock.
Yes, so Sherlock was on.
Well
I
done.
don't know. I mean, as you say, I usually do sort of preambles, but it's kind of hard to do a preamble about Sherlock because there's still people who
very
haven't
hard.
seen it. I mean, it was about Margaret Thatcher's statues, and there was stuff about a boy who died who put himself in the seat of his car. The main body of it then went into Mary's past and her role as an assassin or whatever she did, a special ops agent, and someone and sort of Central Casting's own what's his name, Sacha Darwin, who is in every show ever, was her old partner trying to track her down because he thought that she'd betrayed their team. And then obviously Sherlock tried to solve all the cases, blah, 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 blah. Gary, let's start with you. What did you think? Because I know where Luke's going with this.
Confusing, and I think, as we've established, too many plots in one show.
Too many.
There were too many.
I was going to do that.
Well, no, but it was. I think this is the overarching thing. I think there was possibly 4 good plots in this episode that they just ran straight through. Which just was the first half an hour, 40 minutes of the show was almost painful to watch in the sense of confusing. Like, my head hurt a bit. And I know that that's the style of Sherlock. This is a show you have to pay attention to. And that when it slowed down and actually we got into, as you say, the Mary plot, and actually even when we got to the bits where it was just her and Martin Freeman, they kind of rushed so much that I really felt so confused and disorientated that I wasn't able to enjoy what was clearly the better part of the show. I think in your review, or certainly in your online stuff, Luke, you always said you never liked her character.
Well,
you found it superb.
No, you never believed
it.
When they revealed in the last episode of the last series that she had this past of being this assassin, you didn't buy that aspect of the character.
No, I didn't buy it at all. And then I feel like they haven't done a proper Sherlock episode since the Reichenbach Falls. I think they haven't done anything. They've been stuck in.
In what way? In what way? Explain that. Explain it.
Well, they've just been sort of stuck in this loop of exploring the backstory of all these characters instead of moving it forward. I don't like Amanda Ebbington's character. I don't feel she's been in it long enough to warrant all that long story about it. I just wanted to go back to Sherlock and Watson solving stuff.
Yeah.
Just.
But do you Do you think that the Mark Gatiss and Stephen Moffat think people want more than that now? They want I think
I had more positive response to what I'd written than negative, and I think people do just want. Okay, they want to be challenged. They don't want to be able to figure it out for themselves. The thing is with Sherlock, though, I will go back to it because there's only 2 more, and I just want it. I want Toby Jones to be good, and I want it to return to its. I mean, he mentioned Moriarty like 13 times in that 90 minutes. We know Andrew Scott's not coming back. He's long gone. It's a show that revels in its
again,
own
do you
past.
think, just to play devil's advocate here, do you think that you've got more of an issue with it because you're a TV person, because you know these things that the normal viewer might not be privy to, might think that Moriarty's
might. Most shows that have done 4 series would be a lot further forward. I feel like it's still stuck somewhere between 2 and 3.
Luke, I believe they've got away from. If you go back and watch the first series of Sherlock,
and the
second, I suppose, it was about the cases. And the problem is that they've chosen not to go back and adapt ones from the original books. They're now writing ones on their own. I think they've got too many good ideas that they're trying to cram in. And I think, unfortunately, some of it is...
I would say good ideas is a bit far.
Well, lots of ideas. And I think some of the problem is, the success of the show, and B, the success of the actors. They know they're only going to get 2 or 3 episodes a year with these 2 actors. They're in so many other things.
I think Martin Freeman was woefully underused in this.
Yeah.
One. He gets like 10 lines.
What was all that stuff with the woman he met on the bus?
Right.
And I think that something will come back about that.
She'll turn out to be evil, won't she? And there'll be
possibly. Yeah, possibly. This show is crying out for a proper foil for Sherlock. Not his own brain, not his brother, a proper foil.
Sherlock is more like Sheldon from The Big Bang Theory now than he is like Sherlock in my eyes. I think all they do when they try and put him as godfather at the christening is just sort of point out, oh, he's not normal, he's not like everybody else.
When they were walking down the stairs, Watson and Lestrade, and they were talking about the baby, but also talking about Sherlock, that was lifted from the Big Bang Theory, really. I do agree with you.
If they'd gone down a couple more staircases, they may have ended up at the apartment block.
All I was waiting for at the end was the bazinga, you know.
And what happened to Rupert Graves' voice? It was very odd in this episode. It was very gravelly.
We might be picking for picking's sake.
Well, yeah. I think, as you say, there are 2 episodes left, so it has a chance to redeem itself. And we know that you've got quality writers, B, you've got quality actors, and C, this is a very, very rich area for crime drama. This kind of savant type character.
But I would agree with you, as you sort of both alluded to, almost become a parody of itself at this point. The first 2 series, as you say, they were adapting the books. It got successful. People bought into, as you were talking about to Emma on that podcast, Luke, about the bromance, and that's what they then capitalised on in the last series, what with the wedding and everything, and the relationship between John and Mary, and now in this episode as well, it was mainly about relationships. And as you said in your review, Luke, on the website, that you started to get into it when there was that plot about the boy in the car and everything like that, and then you realised, no, hang on, it's not about that at all. It's about these blooming Margaret Thatcher busts and the memory stick.